Welcome back to Teepa McGinnis Elder Care Law Hour. I'm Barbara McGinnis, and today we're talking about dementia treatments and alternative therapies.
I'm attorney Chris Johnson. In this segment, we're talking about the tools and techniques needed to have a positive approach for those dealing with Alzheimer's. We're joined by one of our staff members today, Dana Hentschel. Dana is the firm's outreach coordinator, and she's also a positive approach to care certified independent trainer with Mental Health America. Welcome, Dana.
Thank you, Chris.
So talk to us about this positive approach to care. What is this?
Sure. This is an approach that was developed by occupational therapist Teepa Snow, who has 40+ years of experience in working with people with dementia, and she is also one of the world's leading educators on the disease. And what makes this method a little bit different is that it does focus on the how instead of the what, meaning tools that caregivers can actually use day to day to help better their relationship with their loved one who has this disease, because it takes two to tango or two to tassel. And we as caregivers are the people who have to make the change, not the person living with this disease.
I think that's a philosophical underpinning of her approach, is understanding that it's about us changing and adapting to our demented person that we're interacting with. We can't expect them to change in any way. So what are some of those tools?
Well, one of them is that approach really does matter. And as caregivers, we often get consumed by our to-do list. We have to make dinner. We have doctor's appointments, especially if you've got young children and your person suffering from dementia, a parent, that you just want to get things done. And if somebody is having trouble getting dressed or putting steps together, stringing those, and they're having trouble getting on a sweater, you just want to run over and put it on them, you know, or fix their hair. And that is not always the best technique for someone suffering from this disease, because someone with this disease, they may not know that they have this disease. They may not always recognize the caregiver that they're supposed to recognize. And I know that if somebody were to approach me and get in my personal space without asking permission, I'm going to have that normal fight or flight response. And that's what happens with people with dementia, and they often get labeled as having behaviors, and really they're just having a normal reaction, and it's us that needs to change our approach.
So if you're a caregiver and your Alzheimer's patient, whether it be a family member or an actual patient, if they're fighting you, if they can't feed or dress themselves anymore, but they're fighting you, helping them do it, that's got to be a very difficult situation. How do you handle that?
It is, and one of the techniques that Teepa teaches is hand under hand, and it's hard for me to demonstrate that in this setting, but her philosophy is don't do to someone what you can do with someone. So using hand under hand, if someone's having problems feeding themselves or buttoning up their shirt, you take their hand, and you may be doing the buttoning, you may be doing the brushing, but it feels as though they are doing the action.
They're at least participating.
Right. I know that when we were in training, one of our exercises were to be fed applesauce, and I have a normal brain. I knew the spoon was coming, but still that my brain was just like a foreign object is coming into your mouth. So just imagine a person who has a damaged brain. So that's why you get people who are just like, no, I don't want to eat, or they're fighting the person who is helping them. So if they use hand under hand, it helps them make the connection, oh, something's coming.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so we can't really demonstrate it today the way we're set up here, but there are a series of videos on our website, right?
That is true. And I think we're going to show it at the end. You just go to our website and go to Learning Corner, and you will see it's a set of 10 videos that actually will walk you through the process. But we also are available, of course, to come and speak and do trainings. In fact, we have at several support groups, assisted livings, just to help caregivers who need really the boots on the ground information.
So what are some other tips you have for caregivers for those living with people with dementia?
My number one piece of advice is to keep it simple. Even people in the early stages of the disease are losing 1 out of every 4 words. And as caregivers, our first inclination is to just talk, and that is a problem for somebody who isn't understanding all of the words. So also a lot of people just think, oh, it's a hearing problem. I just need to talk louder. But it isn't a hearing problem, it's an understanding problem.
Right.
So we call it supportive communication. And an example of that would be like, I'm Dana and you are, and you just kind of lead the person where you need them to go.
That's a great tip.
Where can you learn more about this positive approach?
You can call our office. You can also visit Mental Health America of the Mid-South. They are a nonprofit organization, and they will come out and speak with you as well. You can also visit our website. We have tons of information on that, or their website.
Okay, and so the information was up on the screen, but I think that's a real interesting approach, instead of focusing on what folks can't do. And that as a caregiver, you might feel some peace in learning this positive approach as well. It reframes the situation in a way.
Right, exactly. And you as a caregiver, you have to change. And if what you're doing isn't working, stop and do a reapproach and try something else.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Dana. We appreciate your time and expertise, as well as that of all of our guests. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to this segment of the Takis McGinnis Elder Care Law Hour. I'm attorney Chris Johnson, filling in for Tim Takis.
Thanks, and we'll see you next month.